Hey everybody, Ian here. Welcome back to White Pine Living. And once again, I have my friend Mayor VanCamp has come in to hang out with us. And as you probably guessed, we've actually been anxious to talk to her after the interview that I had with our local accountant, Kelly Bullis. And he was talking about the state of the city's financial health. And I had her watch it, and then I asked her to come on in and maybe just talk a little bit about her thoughts on that interview and then anything else she wants to share regarding the health of the city financially.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome. So what did you think? What were your thoughts about that?
Well, I thought the interview was great because it gave some clarification on the issue with the city's finances. And Mr. Bullis made it sound very easy for the regular citizen to understand.
He has a knack for that.
And that was good. So he kind of put everything in perspective, and it's not as dire as some, people and entities picked it up as.
Yeah. It's easy, accounting in general is complicated, and terms get tossed around, and it's easy to misunderstand what's actually going on. It's easy to get confused, but man, as far as I can tell, if we're getting to the end of the year and a government entity hasn't spent more money than it made and has some left over, I'd say we're winning.
To do that.
we're doing well. So
yes,
but that's kind of that's a good thing, because usually it's the other way around. Usually we're in debt, and you look at California, so many cities. That's a real example of being bankrupt and being in serious trouble.
And they keep raising taxes to make ends meet.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to help, because you raise the taxes enough and soon people go somewhere else. Nevada's been a great recipient of that. We get a lot of great manufacturers and some really great companies that are going, I've had enough of that. I'm coming to Nevada. So, well, you guys are doing a great job. I just, on a personal level, whenever I go into the meetings and I hear the different council members talking, and we are really blessed that I don't see people that are trying to get their own angle, that are trying to leverage themselves politically, that have any nefarious, secret motives in their decision-making processes. I see people just trying to do their best and work together. It's been pretty neat. I think you guys are doing really good. So speaking of, just growth and the changes that are coming, this last election cycle really brought some interesting changes economically in terms of legalizing marijuana. You've encountered this already. I'm talking to my brother who's he manages ATM machines all over the state. And he's noticed that a lot of these companies that are getting started are facing quite a few challenges. One of them being having a hard time getting bank accounts because banks don't want to take that on. They're not sure. Do you know of any banks that are willing to do that?
I don't know anything about that, but there has been some interest in medical dispensary, and recreation's coming in our county. And about a year ago, we didn't pass or anything, but we did draft an ordinance because it's coming if we like it or not. We have to prepare for, this whole marijuana issue. And I know some of the counties, including White Pine, turned their one and only license back. And we do have a gentleman, and that is interested in coming into this area. And we have nothing to do with it. It's his dime, his lawyer, and his time to possibly, get that license. But, it's a lot of money. I know, and it's a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money's to be made, and we can benefit from it.
Sure.
It's not my thing, but
so do you know?
You got to look on the other angle. And one other thing too, our last Friday, for a couple of days, our city attorney Chuck Odgers did attend a special marijuana learning session that the state was putting on down in Las Vegas,
Okay.
because they're trying to get everybody on board, because you'll see a significant change in the next few months, what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. I wish he was here today. He's out camping with my kids, actually. But I would love to get Kelly back in here to talk about the tax ramifications of people starting these kind of businesses, because it's just sketchy right now. It's new. We're balancing the fact that it might be legal here in Nevada, but it's absolutely illegal federally. And guess what? We file tax returns federally, and it carries all kinds of complications when we have to deal with that. Just speaking of the gentleman that's coming up, I don't know if you know, is he looking at being a real, like a variety distributor, meaning not just the stuff that people are going to go out and get high on, but like there are a lot of other products that come from marijuana. There's oils, there's all kinds of
Everything. As I understand, it takes a great deal of money. You have to have a couple $100,000. I want to think it's $250,000 in the bank just to talk to the state.
Wow.
Then he's got quite a bit of money he has to come up with. He has to come up with $50,000 to apply.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean he's going to get it. But
Right.
he, as I understand, he has a dispensary, and he is a grower up in Oregon.
Okay.
And but he sells everything.
Okay.
And
Well,
so he knows, he's been in the business.
yeah. It's
He
not
kind of
just-
knows all the angles and how it works. I have no idea
That's-
if he'll be successful in this endeavor.
Well, I would say it sounds weird to say, but I actually feel better when there's requirements like that, where the people
Yeah.
have to be financially
Yes.
really well off,
Yes.
because that's usually where businesses crash. We've seen it many times here in town. You get a good idea, you don't know anything about business, you go and
You
start
don't
it
have
up.
any money.
You don't have any money, and you don't realize that for the first 2 years
And
you're
if
probably
you
going to make
build it,
none.
they won't come. It
No,
doesn't
it's
happen that
true.
way.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right. Well, that's interesting. So I know that, being the way that I lean politically is to not have the government be in charge of everything and anything if we can avoid it. I do have maybe some thoughts for you guys as bar owners and people that are in businesses where people are going to be consuming marijuana. There's a really interesting point that my brother brought up to me. He was explaining to me that he's the last person in the world I would expect to be not in favor of marijuana being legal. He's not really into that, but he's a very free-spirited kind of guy. And he was explaining to me, if he's sitting in the bar, he says, if I'm sitting in a bar next to a guy that's getting completely tanked, other than being annoyed if he's being a moron, it has no effect on him at all. It's just, okay, go ahead, drink up, buddy, whatever. If somebody's sitting anywhere in the bar lighting up and getting high, the secondhand smoke has some major potential problems for him. He's in a job where he needs to be passing drug tests, and he might not if he gets too much of that secondhand smoke. He might not be completely sober when he leaves the bar if there's too much of that secondhand smoke. And so all of a sudden we have this thing that kind of affects other people, not just yourself when you're consuming it. So I guess I'm sure that the city's going to be thinking about how they can deal with that.
We're going to be on every angle of this.
It would be smart as a business owner for you to just take the initiative and maybe think about how you're going to handle that sort of thing, and maybe figure out ways to, I don't know if you'd want to just keep it out of your bar. That's kind of hard because you
and
shut
I don't
down
know
customers,
enough about
but-
it if you can use marijuana in the bar and drink. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have nothing right now. We have a ordinance that was not passed that's out there.
Yeah.
That now we're learning so much more. It's been a year or a year and a half since we fooled with it, but we'll probably end up tweaking it along the way because of the different changes. So
Nice.
it's gonna be interesting.
You
But
know,
it's coming.
What this says to me, though, I mean, it's a silly subject matter, but guys, we're really blessed to be in a city where we have people that are leading, that are interested in growth. They're not just shutting down any and all ideas that come through. That was a perception that I think a lot of people had when I moved here, and I have found it to be completely untrue. You guys are not looking for opportunities to shut down growth or great things that are coming here.
If you don't have growth, you'll be stagnant.
That's right.
And
we have to have growth. We
need
can't
some
depend on the
growth.
mind
Yeah.
to be our source of life here. We have to have all kinds of stuff. So, just to recap, most of where this conversation got started regarding the city finances was to dispel name calling and rumors and all kinds of nonsense that happens when people get wound up without having the facts and without really knowing what's going on. Tell me a little bit about your opinion of the job that's being done by the city treasurer. How's she doing?
Well, she's very good at her job, and she's kind of saved us, so to speak, but she's kind of whipping our finances into shape. So she's
great.
doing a fine job.
That's so
and
good.
and she knows all about. She was a city treasurer several years ago, and so she came back to this job, and she's got a lot of experience. So that's what we need.
Yeah.
The biggest problem that we have is you get terms like the state Department of Taxation is going to come in and take over, insolvency. You use words like that, and you don't have anything to back it, and that kind of gets people all excited.
Yeah.
And the city is not insolvent, and the Department of Taxation is no way even close to coming to visit us.
No.
We're in really good shape, but I think a lot of people don't understand. Several years ago, we had a mighty nice fund balance. But we also have a contract with the county for police protection.
Okay.
That's to the tune of about $480,000 a year out of our general fund.
Wow.
And
Meaning you have to pay?
Meaning we have to pay that to the county.
Whoa.
Now, years ago, we did contract with the county for police protection, but the county contracted us with fire protection. Now, it was not a wash, but rather than pay out the big bucks, we paid the county, they paid us, and we of course paid probably about and I'm not sure of the figures, about 120,000 kind of for police protection.
Okay.
Well, we get nothing for fire protection. So this has been a couple of years, and that's a lot of money coming out of your general fund.
Yeah.
General fund is business taxes, or business licenses, your building stuff, our taxes and stuff. But we also, a lot of those taxes have come in a little bit short. And but the expenses keep going up. And until we get a handle, that's the largest expense out of our general fund. Until we get a handle of that, and we're going to have to address it. But also, the fire department, and they do a fabulous job, and they bring in money, EMS money and stuff. But that takes a chunk of general fund money too. Yeah. So, and another thing is wages and benefits, and it costs a lot. And we have not added any employees. We kind of keep the same 32, but it costs a lot to run the city. But one other thing too is we have, we started a recycling center. We did a lot of things that haven't been done for years and years and years.
Yeah.
We remodeled Old City Hall. We're back there, and we're going to be able to save moving back. But nothing's been done to Old City Hall since 1972, and it's not energy efficient. It was crappy to work in and embarrassing to have people come and look. Well, we've remodeled that. So we've had expenses out. We've done a lot of things, but it costs money to do things. And
it does.
I feel
it costs money to do things well.
Well, it does. And so we have spent some. Have we broke the city? Heavens no. And we're far from it. And Miss Trask and all of us are working together, and she's pointed out some wonderful ideas to try to save a little bit of money. And we've cut back on a lot of things, but I think the biggest issue is we have to address the the police protection. That's the killer right now. But, we're on that page, and auditors, when they came to our last meeting, said that throughout this past year, there has been some substantial savings. So we were on that page to save and watch our money. And one other thing also, years ago, after Jeanette Trask was not there, we hired people that didn't know what they were doing. And that that happens a lot. And, you kind of trust those that you hope that are doing the right job. And so, we've had a problem that way, but
that's a common problem.
It's a common problem, and lots of entities,
Listen, my dad, it's the family business, him doing the accounting. I avoided it, thank God. But I was in there enough to see that it's common, especially in businesses. It seems simple to hire the lady that knows QuickBooks or the friend that, might have had an accounting degree 30 years ago. And if you're not competent, especially, I go as far as to say, if you're not at least an enrolled agent or a certified public accountant, it's going to be rare to find people competent enough to do even bookkeeping.
Yes.
Because that's usually what happens is people will do the bookkeeping so poorly, the accountant has a great time running the bill up to fix everything that they did.
And then they teach.
Yes.
They teach everybody else the wrong way, and that's what's happened.
Yes.
But
years and years of here's how we do this.
We had a couple of years of that, but we've kind of those employees are long gone.
Yeah.
And we got competency back.
It's little things.
It's little things, but we're moving forward, and they're working on our audit right now for last year.
Great.
And it looks pretty good. So all is well with the City of Ely.
I came across years ago when I was working for the family business. We came across a company that had someone else doing the bookkeeping prior to us coming on, and I remember the first meeting we had with the lady that was doing the books. And again, she's like the third one in a line of succession of different people that had come and gone. There was $1 million of expenses that didn't add up when you reconciled the bank account. $1 million. This is a small business.
Yeah.
That couldn't be accounted for, and their solution was to plug it and chalk it up to miscellaneous expense. They had been doing this for years. So it's common.
And I think Mr. Bullis mentioned about government
accounting.
Accounting's terrible. So and it's tough to find people that know a lot lot it. But
we're
again,
really blessed to have
we got
doing
Jeanette back, and you know what? She knows what she's doing, so she's teaching everybody. So we're all in sync, and so we're very happy, and we're moving forward, and we're not worrying about what happened and the way it used to be. The way it is now. So we're moving forward, and
exactly right.
Kind of excited with different things coming up for the city.
Guys, it's time to panic when you have people that don't care.
Yes.
When you have people that don't care and they are uninterested in listening to feedback and uninterested in getting anything to change, that's when you can panic. But you guys have recognized areas of improvement.
Yeah.
You're working on it. We're not dying. And I'm just really thankful to see what's going on. It's really great. And that is the right attitude, by the way. That's how I've been raised. It's how I've lived my life. I really don't have time to get upset about the screw-ups that happened before. It doesn't change anything.
No.
What I can do is I can do things differently.
And the way it used to be 10 years ago or 15 years ago, well, you know what? We're moving forward.
That's right.
And we've got lots of wonderful things coming up for the city, and this is a great place to live.
It's so good.
I was down in Vegas on Thursday, and it's like, oh my gosh, I could hardly wait to get home because this is paradise up here.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you for
Thank
taking
you
the
for
time.
having me.
And if you guys are enjoying what's being done, feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to interview anybody else that you'd like to hear from. I think I'm going to try and reach out to the sheriff next. I haven't had him on yet, so I think that would be fun. Again, thank you for watching. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you for having me.